There have only been two kings in the English history who have been given the title the Great. One of them was King Alfred of Wessex, responsible for fighting off many Viking invasions and starting the unification of England. The second was a Dane named Cnut, who was king of England, Denmark, and Norway during his lifetime. Cnut was the son of SWEYN FORKBEARD, king of Denmark, until 1014. Not much is known about Cnut's childhood and youth. He was under 20 when he followed his father on the successful invasion of England in August of 1013. Cnut is described in the Norse sagas as a man exceptionally tall, strong, and good-looking, except for his nose, which was thin and quite hooked. He had a fair complexion and a fine thick hair. His eyes were nicer than those of other men, both more beautiful and sharper. This description is from the Cnut saga. As King Svein was conquering England, Cnut was put in charge of the Danish army. After his father's abrupt death, Cnut was crowned king by the Danish army. Nevertheless, the assembly of English noblemen refused to accept him and instead voted to reinstate the previous king, ETHELRED, who had been defeated by Svein and was exiled to Normandy to the English throne. 2 years later, upon Ethelred's death, Cnut became the sole king of England in 1016. In the meantime, his brother King Harald II of Denmark eventually died in 1018, and Cnut was also crowned king of Denmark. When the young Cnut assumed the English and Danish throne, very few could have predicted that he would become one of the most successful kings of the early medieval period, ruling a Scandinavian empire that spanned the entire North Sea. To connect his lineage with the English dynasty and to protect himself against Normandy attacks, Cnut married Ethelred's widow, Emma of Normandy, daughter of Richard, the Duke of Normandy. As the King of England, Cnut blended institutions and ruled the English and Danish people as equals. By partitioning the country into the 4 great counties of Wessex, Mercia, East Anglia, and Northumbria, he established the system of territorial lordships that would anchor English rule for centuries to come. Throughout his early reign, Cnut was a stern ruler and resorted to executions and exile to keep his precarious positions as king of the North Sea Empire. Cnut planned the murder of Edmund Ironside's brother, hunted Edmund's sons out of England to Hungary, and ordered the killing of many of his notable English rivals. After 7 years, when his government grew more stable, he adopted a less harsh policy and allowed more Saxons to hold positions of power. In 1028, Cnut conquered Norway with a 50-ship fleet from England, taking power as ruler of a massive empire around the North Sea. Cnut converted to Christianity and was an eager patron of the church. He sponsored leaders of the English church and was recognized by the Pope as the first Viking to become a Christian king. Setting sail on a pilgrimage to Rome, Cnut showed both reverence and humility. Upon his return to England, he promised his Saxon subjects that he would rule with mercy and justice. Cnut ruled England for 19 years. His protection against Viking invaders helped restore England's prosperity, and the resources he controlled helped him to establish a firm hold on Scandinavia as well. After attacks in Scotland, Malcolm II, King of Scots, recognized Cnut as a suzerain, and peace with Scotland was settled for the remainder of Cnut's reign. The great Anglo-Saxon king Cnut died on November 12, 1035, at Shaftesbury in Dorset, being buried at Winchester. Upon his death, Cnut was succeeded in Denmark by his son, HARTHACNUT, also known as Cnut III. One of his other sons, named Harold HAREFOOT, came to power in England, ruling until his death in 1040. This ends the story of the greatest Viking king to rule in England.